Right, so Southampton 1, Liverpool 0, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm really looking forward to making this video simply because of the fact that I actually did really enjoy this game. I think it was really enjoyable from a technical standpoint. There was lots of good patterns of play, lots of good play overall from both sides, but in the end Southampton did get themselves a massive 3 points, and Liverpool's blip continues after, of course, that draw against West Brom, that draw against Newcastle, and now they have lost to Southampton, so the title race has really been blown open in these last 2 weeks. Which, as usual, a massively dogged performance from Southampton, and to be honest, I apologise Liverpool fans because, as much as it was a poor Liverpool performance, it was also an incredible Southampton performance, and this video is mainly just going to be me raving about Southampton simply because I've never really got the opportunity to do it on this channel that much, because Southampton are one of those teams that I haven't really got to analyse that much, and I really do want to praise them in this video because they simply deserve it, if I'm honest. I mean, we'll start off with that Southampton goal. Danny Ings, after 2 minutes, that goal, of course, which did claim them 3 points. A very, very intelligent free kick from James Ward-Prowse over the top to Danny Ings with an incredibly instinctive finish. I mean, if you look at it back, Ings doesn't even look at the goalkeeper. He doesn't look at the goal whatsoever and dinks it over Alisson, who, isn't a bad goalkeeper to dink it over, I think it's fair to say. But yeah, a very smart goal from Southampton overall. I have to say, it was really poor, marking and overall spatial awareness of the Liverpool defenders, in particular Trent Alexander-Arnold, who just let Ings run in behind him. But overall, you can't take away the fact that it was an incredible piece of play from Ward-Prowse to chip it over the wall, and then secondly, of course, the instinctive finish from Danny Ings, who, maybe back on form after the injury he did sustain last month, and yeah, overall, a very good start to Southampton. I have to admit though, I was really surprised with the Liverpool lineup simply because, of course, they did go with Fabinho and Jordan Henderson as the two centre-backs. No natural centre-back whatsoever, and of course the midfield then with Thiago, Jorginho Wijnaldum and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I was really surprised because I just didn't think there was enough defensive stability for that Liverpool team, especially with the defence that had Henderson and Fabinho at the centre of it. And don't get me wrong, I thought Henderson did okay tonight in centre-back and Fabinho did okay as well, but neither of them really are natural centre-backs, and I think neither of them were really going to be 100% comfortable and 100% used to this role, and that is why I think that Liverpool were kind of caught out from that free kick from Ward-Prowse. And the midfield as well was really, really flat. I think that they had no real cover in midfield, even though Liverpool of course did dominate the most part of the game, so they didn't really need it. But Oxlade-Chamberlain was absolutely non-existent. Wijnaldum was okay, but I think their main midfielder was Thiago, who has just been an absolutely sensational buy from Bayern Munich, even though he hasn't really played that much this season simply because of the injury he has sustained. But I thought he really dictated the play tonight for Liverpool. He was my man of the match from a Liverpool standpoint, but yeah, overall controlled the game, had the game at his fingertips. His passing was, as usual, world class, and yeah, what a signing he would prove to be for Liverpool if he gets a good run of games in this team. But yeah, back onto Southampton, because I will say they're a very, very intriguing team, because I really find it interesting how, I'll put a picture on screen of Southampton's average player positions from tonight. I've seen it over the last few weeks with them as well, is that they really target the left-hand side, and obviously that wasn't great for Trent Alexander-Arnold, because we all know at this stage it's common knowledge that he's not the best defender as good as he is going forward. But Southampton really like to put emphasis on going down the left-hand side. It's really an interesting tactic, and I think one of Southampton's main strengths as well under Ralph Hasenhuttl is their ability to, cover up space for the opposition, because you look at tonight and Liverpool had really no space, especially in midfield, to actually play through the lines, and yeah, I think that's one of Southampton's main things, is that they're so structurally organised, they're very energetic, and overall Ralph Hasenhuttl doesn't get the credit he deserves, I think, which really says something, because he does get a lot of credit, but I think he's probably, a very, very underrated manager still, because the way his teams play, and let's not get it straight here as well, Southampton don't really have the best of squads. I mean, if you look at their squad overall, you have the likes of Theo Walcott, who was classed as Deadwood at Everton, and Ralph Hasenhuttl has made use of him absolutely to the maximum. He's been absolutely incredible for Southampton so far this season. Danny Ings, who was written off after his time at Liverpool. Che Adams, branded a flop last season after his big money move from Birmingham. Stuart Armstrong, who wouldn't be the most dazzling of midfielders, but he's really got a role in this team with his hard-working pressing style. So yeah, I think Ralph Hasenhuttl is very much an underrated manager, and to be honest, I know there's a lot of links with Frank Lampard leaving Chelsea. I wouldn't half be tempted to actually see Ralph Hasenhuttl as a Chelsea manager, because I do think he actually deserves a step up in management, although I do hope he stays with Southampton simply because he's building something very special there, and I wouldn't want him to obviously break that down. But yeah, Southampton are just such a hard-working, energetic team, and you have to give it to them because they work their socks off for 90 minutes, and I think they have a very good understanding of when to defend, when to attack, and yeah, overall they got absolutely spot on tonight once again against Liverpool, and I think Southampton will be one of those teams, of course, as we said at the start of the season. I think everybody didn't deny this. They will be a team that finishes around mid-table at the end of the season. And yeah, I think for the majority of the game as well, Southampton defended really, really well. They defended like heroes, if I'm honest, especially the likes of Jan Bednarek and Jack Stevens. I do think though that Liverpool could have had a penalty late on. I think it was in the first half. Jack Stevens with a handball from, I think it was Salah that took the shot. I really do think that should have been a penalty, especially with the penalties we've seen given so far in other games this season. But yeah, overall I think Southampton defended really, really well. I mean, Kyle Walker-Peters, I don't think he gets the credit he deserves whatsoever. I mean, obviously he was flogged out with Spurs in the summer. I think he's been an absolute coup for Southampton because he's really, really athletic down that right-hand side. He suits Hasenhuttl's system absolutely perfectly. He's very good defensively. He's very good going forward. He's rapid. I think he's very, very good, and I think he's really underrated, as I said. Bertrand as well, very sturdy on the left-hand side, and obviously Fraser Forster coming back into the team completely out of the wilderness, and there was a lot of question marks whether he'd be able to stand in for Alex McCarthy, who's done so well this season so far for Southampton. But he really did, Forster. He didn't look out of position whatsoever. He looked very comfortable. He looked confident, which I think is obviously credit to him. And, you know, it was one of those things. Whenever these goalkeepers do come out from the wilderness, they more than likely seem to, you know, keep clean sheet and have a good game in their first game back. And obviously this was Fraser Forster's first Premier League game for over 3 years. So, yeah, I think it was a really good performance from him tonight. Diallo in midfield as well looks like a very good signing. I think they got him from somewhere in the French league. I'm not sure which team they got him from, but he looks really, really promising as well, standing in for Aurelien Romeu, who did, of course, pick up an ankle injury a few weeks back. And yeah, overall, this whole Southampton team were very, very good. And Nathan Tella as well, who came off the bench, looks like a very good young talent. He looked hungry. He looked like he had a burst of energy. Looked like a breath of fresh air to this Southampton team after Gineppo did come off with an injury. And yeah, overall, I mean, I can't praise Southampton any more than I have done tonight in this video because, yeah, as I keep reiterating, they're a very, very good side, and I think they're very underrated, especially with the management of Hasenhuttl, especially after that, you know, game that we do remember, the 9-0 defeat to Leicester at St Mary's last season. Since then, they've just been absolutely incredible, and I do think that they deserve a lot of credit for that. But yeah, this game, of course, now, from a Liverpool standpoint, does make that game against United in 2 weeks' time an absolutely massive one, because this game really does give United a lot of confidence going into that one, and if United win that game, and win their game in hand against Burnley, they will be 6 points clear at the top of the table, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And the title race is well and truly wide open now, especially with Manchester City winning their game last night, Spurs getting back to winning ways as well, even Leicester continuing to win games, Everton looking strong as well. I would say Chelsea, but you know what, we are pretty much bad, so I don't think we're in the title race whatsoever. But yeah, it does make for a really, really enticing 2021 in terms of the second half of this campaign, and yeah, that is where we're going to leave this video. So if you did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like. As per usual, 15 likes will be massively appreciated by myself. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are closing in now on 1,200 subscribers, so if you could subscribe to the channel, it costs you absolutely nothing and makes my day. So win-win situation, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.